Welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man who is still crying from after watching Knightriders for the first time. It's Adam Hodgins.
Yes, it is, and yes, I am. This movie it's like when you find a treasure you never knew you were looking for.
Yeah, you're right.
This is what happens when you watch Knight Rider.
So we recorded the Constantine podcast, and you were sobbing uncontrollably during it.
Yeah. There's just so much emotion. I feel like Anchorman in the phone booth watching Knight Rider. I just don't know how to feel.
Drinking milk?
Just drinking milk is a bad choice.
So, all right, this movie I'd never heard about, and so you and I, we kind of freestyle our topics. Like we tried a while back to kind of do, hey, this is what we'll do next, but we kind of let it freestyle. So we had Peter Rabbit, we had Constantine, yep. And now we have Knightriders. And I had never heard of this movie, and a month ago, you were like, hey, Mark, there's a movie called Knightriders with Ed Harris. You should watch it. I'm like, okay. So I figured we had done Icebreaker, and then we had done Steel Dawn. So I was envisioning maybe Ed Harris as a motorcycle riding vigilante.
Right.
And I looked the movie up.
That is not what this is.
Yeah, I looked the movie up, and I see George Romero directed it. So I immediately sent you a message like, holy crap, George Romero directed this? I didn't even know that he had a movie called Knightriders.
And it's like, I'm a big Romero fan, big Ed Harris fan, and it's like, I can't believe I didn't know this existed.
I mean, we listened to the commentary. So here's what y'all need to do. Go on, if you haven't watched it, go on Tubi, TUBITV.com, and you can watch the movie, very limited commercials. Then go to Shout Factory TV, and you can listen to Knightriders with the commentary. Now, it's 2.5 hours long. But the commentary is really great. But in this movie, Romero and Tom Savini, just one of the greatest makeup effects guys of all time, they kept saying that this was the best summer of their lives. But then it just
looks like a party.
Yeah, they said they took over a hotel, like a Days Inn, and just partied the entire summer. And it got to the point where Romero's wife had to kind of keep people away from Romero because they were keeping him up at night and he wasn't sleeping. But they did keep complaining that this movie did not make any cheddar, as Romero said. But all right, so I gotta ask you a question, Adam.
Hit me with it.
Who was this movie for?
I think this movie was for Tom Savini. Like, I feel like it was just because it's one of those things where he's a great makeup artist. He's fantastic. But every now and then he sneaks into a movie. And I feel like a lot of times he's already doing makeup on the movie, or he's doing props on the movie. Like he was in Dusk Till Dawn, but he was like the prop guy on that movie. And
Dawn of the Dead.
But again, he's doing makeup on that. So this is one of those where he sneaks in. And I really, in my mind, like in the fantasy version of this movie, it was Romero being like, you know what, Tom Savini, I'm going to make you a star. I got this movie for you. And I think that's what happened.
And so this movie shot for 90 days in outside of Pittsburgh. Really bad weather. They said it rained probably 80 of the days. Did you hear the story where the second day of shooting, a tornado wiped out their set? So then they went to go shoot rain cover, and they shot in this place, chopped down some trees, lit the fires in the studio, but then that studio flooded.
It seemed ripe with tragedy from the get-go.
Yeah, 90 days for this movie. I mean, it is 2.5 hours. And this movie reminds me a lot of Guillermo del Toro's Crimson Peak, which is a 2-hour gothic romance / ghost story that costs about $80 million. And for me, it's like they're completely different movies. But I just wonder how studios A gave them money for it, and B. And now I asked you earlier who is it for, but this movie Knightriders I love. But can you imagine the general populace's reaction to watching a 2.5 hour movie about a traveling Renaissance fair who do fighting on dirt bikes and the infighting in between them?
Yeah, so this movie came out in 1981, and so it's in that weird time, I think, where like movies were being made. Well, of course they're being made, but they didn't really, they're in this refining moment. So like in the 70s, you get these really great movies, but like the sound isn't mixed well, and I think they're still kind of figure it out. And by the time they get to the 80s, they're trying to do like, we want to do some fantasy, we want to do special effects, we want to do, adventure stories, but we don't know how. and they're trying to figure out how to do that. And I think that's what this really is. I think it's George Romero trying to make an action movie, but he doesn't know how because he's used to doing horror.
Yeah, no, I get you. And I found a perfect thing about this movie. Somebody wrote that Knightriders is about 50% scenes of kick-ass moto jousting, 40% philosophizing around the campfire, and 10% lyrical shots of King William trying to exist in the same landscape as fast food restaurants.
Yes, that's, I think, a perfect thing.
And
to sum this up.
I thought the shot at the end was pretty beautiful when he drove by the McDonald's.
I'll say
he has his little helmet on.
There's a couple good, because Romero's a good director. Like, content aside, he does his job well.
Yeah.
But this has a 75% rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, it's good. This is a good movie. I just think, so let's say people go into Crimson Peak thinking it's going to be a horror movie. They're going to be like, what did I get myself into? So Knightriders, this movie's, the poster, the games, the romance, the spirit, Camelot is a state of mind. And the poster has Ed Harris on it, not Ed Harris, but a knight on a motorcycle. So you're thinking this is the Warriors mixed with a jousting movie.
Or it looks like a Mad Max-esque future where like the royal families have come back into play. So I would say for the first 45 to an hour of this movie, I was trying to figure out the rules of the universe.
Yeah, because nothing happens, right? Like
they just do their job. They just go to do their fair. So you're kind of, it's like it's a documentary about this fair that's happening. Like that's kind of what the first hour is like, because it's almost shot in real time. We get to see a lot of the patrons that are there, and Stephen King is there, eating a hot dog or a hoagie or whatever it is.
Yeah, Hoagie Man. So there's just like this picture of like, here's what these people do, but then there's these little hints where you're like, is this real to them, or is it a show, or like, because there was a moment where they're like, oh, he'll never. What happens if he beats the king? Will he become the king? And I'm like, well, is this scripted or is it not scripted? Like, what's really happening here? And you don't really know. Yeah, and the beginning, I love the intro of this movie. So
it's my favorite 3 minutes of film ever.
I mean, do you want to break it down then, since you love it so much?
Yeah.
All right.
So again, I was watching The Substitute on Tubi. Tom Berenger.
Wait, what's the Treat Williams one?
That was Substitute 2. Was it not?
Got it.
Yeah. But that was like the less offensive kind of like Dangerous Minds where the kids don't learn anything was what that movie was. So I was watching that because it's like I have this affection for Tom Berenger. Like my dad and I bonded over Tom Berenger. Like Sniper was my dad's favorite movie.
Whoa. What about Platoon, though? Did that scare the crap out of you with Tom Berenger?
Yes, it was great. But my parents went on a date to go see Sniper. And so my dad says, I'll go get the popcorn, you go get the tickets. And so my mom and her naivete went to the ticket counter and said, I need 2 tickets for Snipper. And then the guy said, you have no idea what you're about to watch, do you? And she goes, nope, I have no idea. So she just really trusted my dad to take her to go see a movie about a sniper. So I was watching that, and then it just said up next, because it just kind of plays the next movie, Knightriders. And I was like, oh, and I thought in my mind, just without seeing the poster, with Knightriders, I was like, maybe this is a documentary about the making of like Knight Rider the show, or like the cars that are involved in that. So I just let it play. So I had no idea it was coming. And so it opens with like this Raven kind of nightmare scene, and then a super jacked Ed Harris just
his arms in this movie. He's 30 years old. He's only 30.
No, I looked at him and I was like, that's who should have played Captain America in 1980.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
If they made a Captain America movie, that's who it should have been.
Yep. Ed Arms Harris.
Right. So he sits up in the forest, naked, and I'm like, okay, like something's happening. And then this woman sits up behind him and like kind of does that like, oh, or I'm gonna put my head on your shoulder, and they're looking like so meaningfully out into the distance. And so I'm like, well, what's gonna happen? And then it cuts to Ed Harris in a lake, whipping himself with a reed,
flagellating.
Just like giving himself penance or something. I'm like, what is going on? And then you see the woman, her mother, and she's putting herself into her like matron's gown, like a kind of royal medieval looking dress. And I'm like, oh, maybe this is like a knight story. Like I totally bought into it. Then it cuts to another shot of Ed Harris like full out naked, kneeling in a field, just like polishing his sword. And I know that sounds like it's a euphemism, but he's literally polishing his sword.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, like this is a thing. I guess we're going to watch a medieval movie, and I'm down with that. And then we see a close-up of their heads, and he's wearing what looks like a ridiculous knight's helmet, and she's behind him, and and there's a scene where they like slowly put their crowns on.
Yep.
Like they dress each other, and so like, oh, this is the king and queen. They're going to go and rule over their lands. And so then you see their heads, and like trees whipping by like they're riding a horse, zoom out and very abruptly to reveal they're on a motorcycle. And I was like, what is going on? And so I wanted you to have that same experience. Remember I said to you, like, Mark, you need to watch it without looking at the poster. Like, just go in blind if you can. And then they go, and I'm like, okay, well, is this like a dystopian future? Is this like a time, like, what is this movie? And then they get to like this Renaissance fair where driving around on motorcycles, which I think if existed would be something that my wife would definitely want to go to. And I'm not going to lie, I'd probably go there because we've been to medieval times, but imagine that on motorcycles. So it just looks like this real snapshot of 1981 where this could only exist in 1981.
Only in 1981.
All right. So like if there was a casting call and someone called you and I, Mark, and they said, we're going to reboot Knightriders for 2019, we would definitely go there and we would like commit. We would be so earnestly acting in this movie. But we'd probably be the only ones in 2019 where like things are pretty tongue in cheek. But here in 1981, they are all bringing their A game. No one is here pretending that this is like everyone's acting better than this movie deserves.
Oh, and it feels like a family there.
Yep.
100%. Even the extras that are part of the tour, they're working in the background. And they're not doing extra walks. Like this feels like a very naturalistic, and maybe that's why he shot it over 90 days in a field, because I think there was just a day in, day out routine. And also they said in Pittsburgh, everyone would just die for Romero. Like they would help him 180% because these movies are this had $1 million budget in 81. That's not a lot.
No.
And they shot it for 3 months, which is insane.
Here's the thing. We talked about Constantine the other night.
Yeah.
Which had a budget of $100 million. And you asked the question, you're like, I wonder where all that money went. And I said, well, probably all went to Keanu. But in this movie, you can see every dollar of that $1 million.
And probably some of the dollars of the cast and crew.
I would not be surprised if they were like, bring your own armor.
Yep.
And then Tom will tweak it a bit if it's not up to par. Because I'd say the armor is very inconsistent from night to night.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it changes for sure. And also, Tom, during the commentary, Tom Savini said he's like, I have that too. He's like, I took that home too. And Romero's like, how much stuff did you take from the set?
That's amazing. I think I hate thievery, but I love when people take stuff home from movie sets. I feel like I'd be that guy.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like Savini probably put so much into this movie as far as stunts. He also had a separate contract to do the blood stuff. So he invested himself in every aspect of this movie. So I'd have let him take whatever he wanted. I'd have let him take the campers home.
Absolutely. So I will say this though, there was a neat or weird plot device, early on. And so we're led to believe that this is kind of like pro wrestling where it's predetermined and it's kind of like it's a show they're putting on. But then like Tom Savini's like, oh, I made this like legit metal bludgeon. Can I use it in the show? And there's this whole conversation like, well, you better check with the king. Okay. And then he ends up using it and then he dethrones the king and all hell breaks loose and all the other knights are getting involved because they're like, oh no, Billy's not going to be the king anymore. And like Morgan's going to get on the throne. We can't have that. And it's just this melee of like panic and so it turns out it's like it's not just a show, but you learn later on in the movie that it's like like a motorcycle gang that has decided like, oh, to make money instead of doing, it's like Sons of Anarchy, but instead of drugs and guns, we're going to do like circus performing.
Yeah. And You hear him say it. Savini says, I'm a trade school dropout. I'm not going back to that. And you probably hear about 5 other characters doing that. So I think 80% of them are just going along with it because it's fun and they get to tour around and they just follow the rules. Like, I got a boss.
Right.
And then about 15% are into it, and then 5% are really into it. Like, Savini's into it for the bikes.
Yeah.
But then there's Ed Harris, who he's a prickly dude in this movie. But
he believes he's the king.
Yeah, he's very naive, but he's also extremely idealistic as well.
And I'd say loyal. You want him on your team.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny though. He has no idea. He's like, that one guy's talking to him. We need money for gas. We need money for food. He's like, do you know how much gas costs? So it's interesting. He's just this guy who leads this band, and he probably doesn't know how much gas costs.
No. So speaking of the stunts for a second, going back to Tom Savini, because he clearly he's a stuntman. So he does his own stunts plus other stunts. But there was a bike flip in that first raid or first show where he was fighting Billy the King, and then Billy gets knocked off his bike, and then the other knights come in. And when they finally flip Morgan's bike, I thought for sure that they had broke Tom Savini's neck.
Oh, there are several stunts in this. So when that guy, when the guy hits the ramp and falls on the ramp, there's the one shot where the guy flipped at the end when they have the private battle. That dude flips over the car and lands on his head.
Yep.
They must have sped it up, I guess, and they did have helmets, but you don't have a helmet for your neck.
Yeah, your helmet doesn't stop your neck from breaking off.
Yeah.
They look terrifying.
Now,
but again, it's 81. So it's in this era of all our stunts are in camera. They're all going to be practical effects, and the real badass actors are the ones who do their own stunts.
Yeah, and Ed Harris said he got off his bike to 107 one time, and Savini said that he was riding Ed Harris's bike, and his helmet almost flew off. He looked down, he saw he was going 107 miles. So they were living it. And whenever they drove away from the set, the stuntmen would they would pop their front tire and put it on the trunk of people's cars. So the stuntmen were insane, and they were led by Gary Davis, who I don't know if you know who this is, but he did all of Snake's guitar stunts, motorcycle stunts in Escape from L.A. He's been on X-Men Days of Future Past. Pretty much any movie with motorcycle gags, he's been doing it. So they brought in a legit team of motorcycle guys.
On a movie like this, more important than writing, costumes, special effects, acting quality, is you need to have safety, because you don't want to have anybody die on this set.
Yep.
And very easily in 81, someone could have died on this set.
14 people.
Right? It's just nonsense after nonsense happening, and it's super entertaining. The entertainment value is through the roof, but you're this could have easily been the story of The Crow, where it's a great movie, but it's sad because Brandon Lee died, right? And so it could have been Tom Savini did all these stunts and also broke his neck and died because of a night movie. Luckily that didn't happen, but it's like watching a live stunt show when you're watching the movie, because you know that Morgan's doing all that stuff.
You know what though? I appreciate it though. I watched that movie The Raid, and I feel bad for the stuntmen because I just feel like they are getting destroyed. And I watched this movie, and people so a guy broke his collarbone. They said another guy broke his steel cup. Another guy bruised his quad, right? Yeah, bruised his quad when he hit it on the steering wheel. So but it's interesting. I don't know if you listen to the commentary or not, but Savini was training and he got cut on his head, and I guess Romero just let him have it. So after that, they started being more careful on set.
Right.
So maybe it was more controlled than we realized, because they did add booster seats on the motorcycles to shoot people off. They in 81. So I always talk about when you see special effects guys now, they're all 40s, 50s years old. They all just look rugged and beat up. So they probably all worked on this movie, and all their injuries are from that. Right.
It's Knightriders throughout.
Every guy you meet worked on Knightriders and got injured.
So here's a question for you.
Yeah.
Have you, in all your con experience, you clearly have met Savini, right?
Yeah.
So what was your impression of Savini?
Real nice guy. What'd you think?
I got in a fight with him.
You got in a fight with Savini?
Yeah. So it was at Fan Expo in 2005. And so he was at a table with George Romero. So I went up and I was working there. But I went on my like hour off or whatever it was. I wanted to get, Romero to sign my Night of the Living Dead DVD, and I want to get Savini to sign my From Dusk Till Dawn DVD. And so Savini had a bunch of props he had made up on the table in front of him, and he had that like the codpiece gun.
Oh yeah.
From Dusk Till Dawn. And so I said, "Oh, that's the gun." I said, "Oh, how you guys doing?" And I was like, I'm a pretty friendly guy. I'm not like an uber fanboy. I can kind of keep my cool. I was like, "Oh, thank you guys for what you've done, and a big fan of your work." I said, "Oh, that's cool. That's the gun from Dusk Till Dawn, and it was also in the guitar case in Desperado." And he was like, "This is not the gun from Desperado. It was a different gun." And he like apparently they had copied his gun.
Oh gosh.
And he was like very upset with me about the whole thing. And I was like, "I didn't know." And he's like, "Well, you should do." And so I got kind of like into and my friend John Cross was with me, and he was like, why are you fighting with Tom Savini? I was like, he was mean to me. So I think we got off on the wrong foot. But every time I watch Savini, I'm kind of like, yeah, maybe you should get a little more hurt. Like, I don't have a whole lot of love for Tom Savini.
He seemed chill.
Yeah.
But,
well, you didn't insult his props, I think.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Right? He could have been a bad day. So he woke up bad, something bad happened. Someone said something else to him. Yeah, and then he just kind of, yeah. I mean, I guess when you're at a con, you should probably keep your cool. But that's interesting. So Desperado ripped off that gun?
Yeah, so it was a different gun. I think because Rodriguez was involved, like he directed From Dusk Till Dawn, so I think it was like him trying to write a love letter to Savini. Like, we're going to tie these universes together. Like, you're a guy, maybe makes weapons for this guy. Like, I think it was one of those things. But apparently Savini was upset that they had tried to copy his gun without getting him some money for it or something. I don't know.
Oh, brother.
Yeah, it was funny.
I got to say something about Romero movies. So if you think about his movies, so you have Night of the Living Dead. I'm just going to go by his core. Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the... I'm just not like Marty, those movies.
Right.
Or Monkey Shines. I'm just going to say Dawn of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead, and Day of the Dead. So they're about these people who are in their own little societies.
Yeah.
They obviously Night of the Living Dead, you have to, but Night of the Living Dead, they put themselves into a house, and due to infighting, trouble happens, and horrible gasoline tactics. And then Dawn of the Dead, they find their own world. They're attacked by bikers, outside influences. Day of the Dead, they're attacked by infighting and outside sources. And then you have Knightriders, where they have their idealistic society, but then it's overtaken by infighting, money, and outside people. So there's a big theme in Romero movies.
100%. 100%. I would love it if the biker gang from Return of the Living Dead became the Knightriders gang.
Oh my gosh. I wrote an article about the blood pressure. So in Dawn of the Dead, this guy goes to a blood pressure machine, and before he can finish it, he gets eaten.
Right.
And I wrote an article guessing what his blood pressure would have been. And I just talked about his life of being dehydrated. He probably didn't eat. He probably ate a lot of processed foods on the road, hadn't eaten for a while. And when he was killed, his adrenaline was spiked. So I don't remember the number. It's on Movies, Films, and Flicks, but I came up with a good guess on his blood pressure. And I talked to several EMTs. I talked to nurses. I talked to my mother-in-law who was a nurse. And I got a ton of information about blood pressure. And I feel like I came up with a pretty good answer to what that guy's blood pressure would have been.
So here's my challenge for you, because one of the things I love about you is your like movie data stuff you just pull out. I love it. I can't get enough of it. I'm challenging you to again. It's going to require probably a rewatch of this movie or parts of it, but I want you to put together a budget for in 1981 and in 2019 what it would cost to run this show all summer, and what would you charge? What would you need to charge on ticket sales to make a profit?
Oh, as far as gasoline and meat?
Yeah.
They would have to stay in one location and just charge tickets for a week. They couldn't go to place to place.
Well, I think they do go place to place, though.
Yeah, that's not feasible.
Just with zero research, it is not feasible.
No, just the parts. Because these motorcycles are getting destroyed. Some of them. And there is food. Where are they buying? Are they making these? So that if they're making their props, they have to stay somewhere. They eat a lot of
Right.
hamburger, from what I learned. They camp out, so that's not too expensive.
Right.
I think fuel, food. I mean, you could do everything on the cheap. Yeah, I could do the math.
Yeah. But there's also like the basket weavers, because that's a legit thing. Not everybody in
Yeah.
these biker gangs is like real bikers. They're just like, oh, here's a basket weaver, and they sell their wares in like the what do they call it?
The booths, I guess.
The midway. They have like
Yeah.
a midway, and they sell their wares there. So it's like, first off, what's it cost to get them their supplies? What does it look like? What's their turnover like? And that's why they got to go from town to town, because no one's going to keep coming there to buy their baskets week in and week out.
And the weather's an issue.
Absolutely, the weather's an issue, 100%. Also, like, I think it would suck to be the guy who's like weaving sandals. Because, you know, some of these guys go there and they want to pick up the townies. Like, Alan picks up this girl,
Yep.
whose dad is my favorite, because he pays a ticket to go to the show. Then he lays down and says, "Tell me when it's over."
Yeah, well, he just gets drunk. We're led to believe he's crunked, right?
Right. But he just does not care to be there. And then he just falls over, and then he wakes up when it's done. But you have all these like knights and motorbikes, and they're very handsome men. And then you have like the basket weaver. He's not going to get any attention from ladies at all.
I mean, here's the thing though. There are all these, you know, and as this movie proved, when Morgan breaks away, his buddies destroy a hotel room.
Yes, they
Right?
do.
I mean, are they friendly fighting? Or are they just like their first taste of success and now they're brawling?
Maybe. I don't know. Have you ever been in a friendly fight before?
Not like that.
No. I was working at a music store for a while, and my buddy Hutton and I had to deliver an electric piano to a house, and we were told to be there at like 2. And so we showed up in the van, and then no one showed up. We waited there for an hour for them, and they kept texting like, "Yeah, we'll be on the way." And so Hutton gave me like a Charlie horse in the leg, because we were there for an hour sitting there being bored, which escalated into like this like kind of joking but kind of real like fight in the van. Like, we're smashing each other's heads off the steering wheel and stuff. And as the people pull up, we're like, bam, we're just like wrestling around in the van, and they're like, "What's going on?" We're like, "Oh, just here to take your piano inside." And then we like never spoke of it again. So I think that's kind of what's going on here. You know, it's just like boredom, because they're not in the society anymore. They're in a hotel room. They're not here with like everything going on. There are things
There's no
to
supervision.
do.
There's no supervision.
Yeah, it's like when you go camping for fun, you're surviving. There's not a whole lot of downtime, because you got to like prep and get a shelter, and like there's things going on. And I think that's what this is. There's tear down, there's setup that they don't have to do anymore.
Yep. So, but I guess what I was saying is these guys are very jocular. They're very lots of testosterone. They're very, you know, these motorcyclists. They just want to fight and sword fight. So you have the people that obviously are fans of that. But if you're a basket weaver, you're more relaxed. You're kind of chill. I believe once
If you're the tambourine player, you don't got a lot of skin in the game.
Yeah, I think they just gotta. It's just different. The jocks will go in, you know, they get all the attention, but the basket weavers, you know, maybe they work to the more sensitive crowd.
They're gonna have more conversations, right?
Yeah, exactly. They're not just gonna be loud. And you saw those women in that hotel room; they were cowering from this fight. So the basket weaver's gonna be looking.
Too.
The basket weaver's gonna be. Yeah, me too. The basket weaver's looking pretty good right about now.
That's true. I love the beginning after the first show, where the local bikers come and take over.
Yeah.
And one of those guys is Bud from Jag.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he's like a young biker with a handlebar mustache.
That's a good pull.
Yeah, it's a great pull. My wife loves Jag. It drives me crazy. But so you have these like regular bikers that are like, "Whoa, we're going to get there and show these guys what's what." And they steal their lances, and then they just get destroyed by the knights, like on the highway.
Yeah. And there were cops there, and there's high speed chases in which a motorcycle explodes. And one guy hits about 14 signs that say Zooks and tomatoes. I thought he hit the same sign 14 times. Like, it looked like he hit the same sign, and they were just showing replays of it. But he was destroying a produce stand's signs.
That's like in Superman the movie, where the car rolls down the hill like 18 times.
Yep.
It flipped once, but Richard Donner had 18 cameras on it.
Nice.
And I think he just edited it together. But there's a moment where you're like, there are knights right now on motorcycles chasing legit just townspeople with axes, and they're like, what is going on right now? Like, they're just gonna kill him. And there's just some great stunts here, and that jump where the guy falls into the water. I know the water is like, it's a trope where it's like it's a safe landing, he doesn't really die, but that bike was in the air.
Yep.
He really did for it.
Now this movie though, we see when that bike goes out of control and hits that woman, she is broken. As Jim Ross would say, she is broken in half.
Yeah.
That was brutal. So there's a scene in the movie where these locals or another rival branch comes and tries to attack. And this motorcycle goes out of control and it's going towards a baby. And they get the baby out of the way in time, but it smushes a woman. And the way that they bent her body, like it looked like her arm was broke. We never hear from her again. She's going to sue.
Yeah. But again, it's 81, so it's like, it's a traveling bunch of like, it's a traveling bunch of like vagrants. And they're like, what do you sue them for? They're trash cans? Yeah,
they're gone they're like the Irish bare knuckle boxers.
They are. So, also one of the knights is a lady, which is like at the time very progressive, right? Oh, there's a lady competing with these knights, which is a neat thing. In Ontario, there's a traveling group called Knights of Valor. And so they go around from town to town in the summertime, and it's just like a not-for-profit organization, and it's eerily like this.
Oh.
Where it's a group of guys, and they make their own armor and they train their own horses. And it's like, it started off as a horse rescue. So any horse that was going to get put down or go to the dog food factory, they would adopt it and train it to become like a knight's horse. And so they come to anywhere that has like a horse arena, and they put on a night show very much like this without motorcycles. So I took my youth group to go see it one year, and so all these knights come out, and they're like, and we have, Lady, Zelda, and so they had this one female knight, but they do a legit joust. They just joust each other.
Wow.
And so when you go to a joust, Mark, all you want, like your animal instinct comes out, and all you want to see is someone get knocked off a horse. That's why you paid your money. That's what you want to see. And so they're doing this joust, and they're breaking lances. These guys are staying on the horses. The lady knight comes out, and she gets destroyed.
Oh, no.
And like midair, I have a video somewhere on my computer of it, because I was really into taking videos of it at that point in time. And she just like tanks and hits the ground hard. And never have you seen a more confused crowd, because normally you cheer for the knight that won. You're like, yes! But you're like, it's the one lady here, and now she got possibly hurt. We can't really cheer for that, but we can't boo the other guy because it was just a really weird situation.
And also, it's all fun and games until someone gets destroyed. So if someone gets knocked off their horse and gets up, yay! But when someone gets obliterated,
yeah, it was super awkward. And so this reminded me of that.
She was awesome though. She preaches what I teach. Basics.
There you go.
So so I annoy my students, Adam. When I taught public speaking, I would show them pictures of 5 different buildings, and I was like, what do they all have in common? No one got it right. I'm like, well, they all have a foundation. And now that I'm teaching film, it's the basics, because if you know the basics, you can go on any set. So the whole time when she's talking about the basics, I was like, I like her. She's my favorite character.
Absolutely. You know what relationship I loved?
Which one?
I loved Morgan and was it Julie?
Yeah. The grease monkey.
Yeah, and because you could tell that they were in a romantic relationship, but first they were just best friends.
Yep.
They were just like this weird like familiarity they had down pat, and I thought that was pretty groovy.
And they called each other out for it. He's like, you need to think you're better than what you are. And then she would go at, like, they've made some very pointed, like, their arguments weren't like, you're a crap head, or you're a juice box. They just, I don't know.
Juice box?
Yeah, you're a juice box. There's not much in you and you empty quick. I don't know. And then you can be squished. But there are things that they said to them were only things that people who know each other could say. And that scene where Savini is, he's the Black Knight in the movie, but when he says to her, you think you don't think you're good enough, or he says something along that line. I'm like, that's a very pointed thing to say. It's he knows her.
And it's pretty evident. It's just their chemistry's off the charts. Now, did you, like me, feel like this movie ended 3 times?
Yes.
When Tom Savini leaves and joins like the legit kind of like motorcycle circuit.
And that has become such a trope when people leave with a bad artist. Like every biopic ever, right?
Yeah.
They leave with the jerky lawyer. In this case, the guy from Jurassic Park who gets bit in half on the toilet.
Right.
And then he's doing this photo shoot where he's in next to nothing, being like that's every biopic ever, like Queen or Bohemian Rhapsody. He gets lured away. That was like did that start this trope?
It might have. I think if we look back, this might have started that trope.
Just getting dragged away and how many movies has that happened in though? Where
All of them.
one person breaks away, then they become too famous and they go back to their roots.
Yeah, and it culminated in Rockstar with Mark Wahlberg.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh, what a movie.
Oliphant.
Yeah, so I didn't know what or who the villain was in this movie.
There isn't one. Maybe consumerism, the outside world.
Well, at first,
William himself, Billy.
yeah, I think it's a man versus himself story. But at first, I thought it was going to be those two like goofy policemen. Like they were going to be like the walking tall kind of antagonists.
Oh, they were not goofy though. They were brutal, right?
They were brutal, but they gave the impression of like Otis, right? Like they were, but they were just like ruthless. And then I thought that was going to be the story, but that quickly, I think it was just like, I think it was Billy against himself. And can he handle running this group? Is it too big for him? Has it gotten bigger? Has it got away from the basics of their group?
Yep.
To go back to your lesson.
So you know what I was reading about this movie, and apparently, I sorry to interrupt, but they're saying Knightriders was Romero's labor of love, a semi-autobiographical, non-horror story about a Renaissance troupe led by Billy, a King Arthur figure played by Ed Harris in his first leading role. In the movie, Billy and his queen lead a troupe, blah 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 blah. But they're saying promoters, fans, and money concerns, and then it intrudes on their utopia, and they're saying that's also with Romero. Because they're saying that the troupe of medieval armor-wearing roustabout wrestles with just how much they can sell out, or if they can sell out at all, just the way Romero must have. He felt the pull of Hollywood to be sure, but stayed in Pittsburgh. So
absolutely.
I mean, do you think? I think the lawyer's the bad guy. The outside world is the bad guy, right? Yeah,
they're just kind of wrestling with what's actually happening to their group, right? Their group is changing. And I don't think Billy can handle that change.
Hey, nothing gold can stay, right?
No, and if you plateau, you're failing.
Yep.
It's always been my mantra.
If you plateau?
Yeah.
Well, I like it. I just read that book, Infinite Jest, and there's a whole 50 pages on how to get over plateauing in tennis.
That's dynamite.
That book destroyed my mind.
It would destroy your mind. But I think that tennis is a weird thing to begin with. I don't know how they keep score. I'm not sure how you get good at it. But yeah, you don't want to plateau in tennis. That's my biggest fear. It keeps me up at night.
Yeah. You almost canceled this podcast because you were so worried. You were just watching Pete Sampras clips last night.
That's right. And I was just trying to think like 15, 30, 40 love. How does that work into the whole thing?
Should I serve volley? Should I just stay on the baseline?
Right. Exactly.
Should I spin serve? Like, what are the benefits? Should I slice my backhand? You were a wreck.
Yes. Now, another thing I loved about this movie, to get away from tennis for a second, is the gang's commitment to wear like pirate shirts when they're not performing. Like they live the gimmick.
Yeah, and that one guy, I love this guy tells Billy, you're picking up all these long hairs. So do you think these are kind of I think they embrace that lifestyle. It's easy, right? I mean, those shirts, every shirt looks comfortable. If I was in the woods in Pittsburgh in the summer, I'd be wearing those shirts.
Well, here's the thing. It's 1981. You're in your second last year of high school, just got out of high school, not too sure what to do with your life, and this group comes through your town and you can join. You're going to go for a while with them. You're going to try it out.
Oh, for sure. And
no questions asked.
You know what I also love is Romero doesn't, a lot of these things all right, so when people used to come to Comic-Cons or food events or film sets, they're like, man, this is the coolest place in the world. But if they did 5 events in a row and worked 5 events in a row, or they stayed on a film set for a month, they're like, this is terrible. So I like how they established the outsider coming in, the girl Julie coming in.
Yeah.
She has her bad family life. But then you also realize pretty soon that their life is not ideal.
I did not picture Alan. Like, I thought the whole movie was like gearing Alan up to be like the virtuous man, like the guy who was going to like do the right thing. But he kind of takes and plays Julie as a fool.
Oh yeah, he picks her up, then he realizes that he likes Lynette, and then he drops her back off at a horrible home.
Right. And
Well,
you're just like, thanks for the fun.
I mean, I guess he's done it before though, and he knows that Julie's kind of using him to get away, and it's not a long-term solution for her. So
Right.
maybe he thinks he's being righteous, but he never should have picked her up then if he knows that.
No, exactly. So it's one of those things where like, who's your moral barometer in this movie?
Well, it's not Billy.
No, because I think Billy has some big psychological problems.
Yes, major he's major. So, all right, how about this? It's probably Morgan.
No, I would say that it's an old bait and switch that in the first scene of the movie, it would have been better if Morgan would have became king.
Yeah, absolutely. Because if you think about it, pay off the cops, give them $500. They already know they could go to bigger venues, still keep their lifestyle, and make 10,000 more.
Yeah, no, that the paying off the cops was the right thing to do.
Yeah, exactly. And then so they're off your case. And so, I don't know. And also Morgan kind of gets the hero's journey a little bit.
Yep.
So Billy doesn't get a hero's journey at all. Alan he's a lecherous man.
He's awful.
Well, but then we have Morgan who he signs the contract. He meets, so he has his nice lifestyle. He's with, I forget her name. She calls herself the Grease Monkey all the time. Romero's wife. I keep forgetting her name. But so he's with her.
Angie.
Yeah, Angie. And he's with her. He just likes riding motorcycles. He thinks this is good. Then he gets some fame. He realizes how empty it is and what it's doing to them. And then he comes back, and I think he's going to be a good leader.
Yeah, absolutely.
This movie it's a lot.
There's a lot going on.
There's many minutes, and there's a lot going on.
Do you've done the con circuit a lot. Do you know the Universal Designs guy who does the motorcycle suits?
No, I don't.
His name is David Paya. And so his company's called Universal Designs. He does all the cons. He makes licensed motorcycle suits. So he'll make like a Batman motorcycle suit or like a Daredevil and they're movie accurate. They're fantastic. And they're like motorcycle grade leather. But he looks exactly like Tom Savini. And he also used to be a makeup artist. So we used to call him Canadian Tom Savini.
Hey, before we go on break, I got something to drop on you. So the first AD on this movie, he ended up moving up working for Wes Craven, a bunch of people. First assistant director. He gave everybody nicknames. And for some reason, every time he gave someone a nickname, it stuck. So
nice.
He on this movie, though, prior to this, he started calling it Tom Savini Sleaze. And Tom Savini hated it. And there on the commentary table, I guess for the rest of it, Savini got the guy to change his nickname because he just hated Sleaze, so he changed it. But Savini so even though the first AD changed his nickname to something else, everyone just kept calling him Sleaze because it stuck. And Romero's wife was laughing in the commentary booth. She's like, "Yeah, we still call you Sleaze."
So I haven't been to a con in a long time. But the next local one I see where Tom Savini's there, I'm going to go just so I can get his autograph.
Don't do it.
Be like, hey, can you sign it Sleaze?
Yeah, hey, I listened to the Knightriders commentary. You should open with that.
Yeah. Open with I love your work on Knight Rider. Yeah. Can you sign this from Sleaze?
In a diplomatic way, though. Don't go at him like a honey badger on Mountain Dew.
No, never. Or on a mountain burger.
All right, so how about this? Let's drink some Mountain Dew while drinking a mountain burger. Wait. Let's eat some Mountain Dew, and let's drink a mountain burger. And when we come back, we'll talk more Knightriders. Welcome back to Movies, Films, and Flicks. And yes, we did drink mountain burgers. How was it, Adam?
It's, you know what? It was smooth going down. But then it gets a little caught in your throat, so you had to chase it down with some Mountain Dew. But then to cleanse the palate, I took a big swig of some real authentic ginger beer, and now we're ready to go.
So I was thinking about this yesterday, and on our Constantine pod, and in our Icebrocker. What did I say last night, or in the Constantine pod, where I just called someone like oh man, you listen to it. I called someone a horrible name by accident.
You did, and I forget what it was, but I remember thinking, I'm going to make Mark a t-shirt for his birthday that says that.
And so Icebreaker, they have mountain burgers, and so in the Constantine pod, we were talking about people chugging real, like legit spicy ginger beer. And I was thinking about that, just a guy in a bar sitting by himself, slugging ginger beer. That's a guy you don't want to mess with. The reason you don't want to mess with this person is there's no reason to slug ginger beer.
Mm-hmm.
What reason? Ginger beer is for sipping.
It is. And I'll say this. I have more respect for a guy who can slam ginger beer all night than a guy who slams whiskey. Because after your third or fourth whiskey, you go numb to it.
Yeah.
Ginger beer is not. You're feeling the full effect every shot.
There's no numbness to ginger beer.
No.
I mean, your stomach's going to feel. Can too much ginger? So ginger beer can help your stomach, but can too much ginger beer hurt your stomach?
So here's what we're going to do, Mark.
Yeah. We're going to slug some ginger beer.
On our next podcast,
yeah,
we're going to come up with a drinking style game. Because it won't be a drinking game, but it'll be a drinking style game. Where whenever something happens, whenever we make a reference, whenever we go on a bunny trail, whenever something happens, we got to take a shot of ginger beer.
I like it.
And we'll just see how that affects the pot. Basically,
Kurt Russell, and then you and I going off on a tangent, which would be constant. Also, yes. I got to say, everyone listening, you should definitely check out our Peter Rabbit pod because people have really been enjoying it because it's a hour and 50-minute Knightriders-esque slog through Peter Rabbit, but we cover some ground. It's great.
We go deep cut Peter Rabbit.
You know that walking movie? It's The Way Back with Colin Farrell and Saoirse Ronan where they just walk?
Yep.
We cover more ground than they do, and they walk for years.
Exactly.
But in a good way.
Someone suggested I should watch that movie. And so I ended up watching The Way Back with Steve Carell.
Oh, I love that movie.
And I was like, this movie is brilliant.
Brilliant. And so in that movie, right, Allison Janney is supposedly the worst parent. But if you think about it, Toni Collette and Steve Carell, and I love that abusive thing he says, we're in this together, but they're obviously not. It's a way of control. This movie's very layered. But there's a scene where Allison Janney is drunk. And, she's annoyed that her husband left her for somebody else, and she is just sauced. But she knows where each and every one of her children are. So she's out there, but she knows her kid's under a table. She tells her other kid to stop dead dancing near the fire and to move back. And she knows that the daughter's sulking somewhere else. So this is a woman who, she knows who she is. She's gone through some tough times, but she still knows exactly where all her kids are.
Yeah, and the big laugh with her character in that, and her son is like, which eye? Come on. Like he's got that lazy eye. So he's like, I don't know which one to look at. But we've all been in the situation where we're like silently thinking like, which one do I look at? Like and she just calls it. She just says like, no, look at me with focus. It's amazing.
She's very, and Sam Rockwell was so good in that movie. I love when Sam Rockwell kind of bowed up to Carell, but Carell was really intimidating in that movie. He
played a stone cold psychopath in that movie.
Yeah, he is not. And that dialogue that he uses with "We're in this together." Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And then Amanda Peet, she's very likable. I remember her in Whole Nine Yards being very likable, but in this one she is. And I also like that she's with the guy from Hot Tub Time Machine, who's very funny, who I like a lot. But he in that movie knows that Amanda Peet is not being honest with him in the relationship. And so he just kind of drinks it away and holds it in. It's a very layered movie. Megan loves it.
No, it's one of our go-to summertime movies.
So good.
So every summer I do like a junior high camp, and so we do like a week of like we meet the church, we do stuff, and then in the afternoon we go and do events. And so the Friday is always we go to this water park called Wet and Wild, which is like from 1970s. It's exactly the water park from that movie. Wow. And so the Thursday night before, I always watch that movie every year.
Rob Corddry.
Yes.
Man, what a good movie.
Oh, dynamite.
It kind of has the same vibe as Knightriders in that it's very relaxed and it's kind of naturalistic. And the characters, I remember the characters in this movie's name.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So a movie's good when you remember the characters' names. Because how many movies have you walked out of and, it was a good Tom Cruise movie?
Yeah, I like when Die Hard jumped out the window.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But this movie, I don't know. I just remember the names, which is, I don't know, it has the same laid back kind of chill. Also, I like the way they use Pittsburgh in this movie in Knightriders. And then I liked in The Way Back how they use that location. I mean, it wasn't glorified. It was nice. Good movies. Good filmmakers.
The moment where I hated Steve Carell in The Way Back, because he's coming off The Office where you like you're irritated with him, but you love him, was when he says, what would you give yourself out of 10?
Oh, gosh.
Right? And you just hate him in that moment.
And he's in his head, he thinks he's being helpful. And that's based on and Jim Rash, his stepdad, said that to him. In the real world.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Not good.
That bothers me.
You want to hear something interesting about Knightriders?
I want to hear all the interesting things about Knightriders.
They made a joke saying that the first cut was 37 hours.
But isn't there like a European cut that's like an hour and 2 minutes, or 102 minutes?
Yeah, so like an hour and 42.
Yeah,
so
they really cut
probably
it back.
38 with credit. I mean, this movie could be an hour and 38. It wouldn't work as well.
It legit ends 3 times. There's a moment where you're like, oh, and I remember saying, like, if it ended here, I'd be satisfied. It'd make sense that loose ends are tied up, and then it just keeps going.
Yeah. I mean, you have that scene, like, there's some scenes I like the character building, but you have Angie and Pippin, and in there, they're like, oh, no one wants to stoop the grease lady, and I'd rather do, like, it's a weird, there's some very moments that probably could have been edited out, but I still like, for me, I like them. But I guess I'm a bad executive. I'm a studio exec, and I'm thinking money.
Right. Now here's the thing. Bad News Bears, the original Bad News Bears.
Yeah.
Love that movie.
Love it.
But when I watch it, it feels more to me like a documentary than it does a movie. I feel like I'm actually like, it's so natural. Those kids are being kids that it feels like you're watching like a snapshot of that era more than a movie about a baseball team.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
And I feel very much that with this movie, that I'm watching a snapshot of an era of people doing what they love more than I'm watching a coherent first act, second act, third act movie.
And some of my favorite films are when this happens. So Linklater's great at this. I love Before Sunrise. I love Dazed and Confused. Yep. Recently, Everybody Wants Some, which is probably Megan's Demise. We've watched that more than any other movie recently. I think it's very hard to capture that naturalistic snapshot vibe. Because if you miss, it's just kind of soul crushing.
It misses very, very badly.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, maybe this movie needed to be that long, so you just rest in the atmosphere.
It could be. You just need to get used to the hot tub, is what I like to say.
Get used to my foot's in the hot tub. Hot Tub Time Machine. I love that movie. Also, I want to talk to you about something. That pizza scene where Friar Tuck and the lady. That is the grossest pizza. I stopped it and I looked at that pizza, and it looks like it just fell off of Pizza the Hut, and they smeared some weird stuff on it. And that's one of the weirdest scenes.
How happy for Little John are you, though? Like, those two people, as gross as that is, look like they've never been happier.
Oh, they love life. And when they're in the pool together, when they're at Jurassic Park's pool,
yep,
they're loving. I mean, they seem like they like each other. This couple, they have a good relationship, but it seems fueled more on highs than on lows.
But that's the sequel I want to see, Littler John, when those two have a kid.
So there's a movie called. Did I tell you about the movie called Safe Men with Sam Rockwell, Steve Zahn, Paul Giamatti, where Mark Ruffalo? But there's a mobster named Big Fat Bernie, and they call his kid Little Big Fat.
Little Big Fat.
It's a Little Big John.
That sounds like the name of like an underage rapper.
Yeah, Little Big Fat.
Little Big Fat.
I mean, he does rap. Never mind. But that pizza though, dude, that pizza is days old.
It is revolting. And this whole little group of people has no problem with like intimacy boundaries, I'll say. I mean, they're just like walking in at each other, and like instead of being like, "Oh, sorry," and leaving, they're like having full conversations. Like, it's nuts.
Can there be boundaries?
I don't think in a community like this.
Because there's just tents, right? And they kind of sleep in their cars.
Mm-hmm.
Did we ever see the whole convoy?
I don't think so. I think it's too big to see the whole convoy.
How many people are working in this event?
I would say there's 120 people working in this event with drivers, setup crew, teardown crew, talent, in-ring, out-of-ring talent, the midway workers. I'd say it's 120 people altogether. Plus like the riffraff, the ones who just kind of like tag along and play the tambourine. I'd say that the whole community is 120 people.
How many people come to the show?
I would say on a good day, 65, 70 people come to the show.
What is tickets? What in 81?
In 81, I would say $2 a person or $5 a family.
Right. So let's say, even on a good day, they do 100. So they make $200, right?
Right.
That could be gas, I guess, to the next town. Then you have, actually, end of the 70s, 80s, gas prices were insane.
Yes.
So that's not good.
And they're not selling a lot of merch like you would at like a wrestling event. Because remember when Ed Harris sees his picture in that magazine, he's like, oh, interview. Like he's angry, he's famous.
Their business model's bad because they allow people to bring beer.
Yeah, but if they sold beer there, if they sold T-shirts, if they sold, action figures of the motorcycles, they could make money hand over fist, but they're not doing that.
Yeah, so this is not a sustainable model.
I'm telling you, if they got a Chinese toy supplier to make small die-cast dirt bikes, and they sold them for $4 a piece, not one kid would leave there without begging their parents for a motorcycle toy.
Now, if you knew about these events, do you think more than 100 people would go to these shows? Because this would be not, if I was a kid and I saw this show, my mind would be blown.
Oh, 100%, 100%. I think in 2019, this is a marketable show.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
So I think that their promotion needs to get better. That's what they need to send someone ahead of time, 2 weeks ahead of time, put posters up and, get the word out there in 1981 viral marketing, but like, newspaper ad, local television, local radio, get those going, and then you can get some people coming.
Now, this show is hemorrhaging money. So could we posit a theory that Ed Harris, right? Because he seems to have never wanted for anything, and he doesn't know prices.
I know where you're going.
Could he be coming from a very wealthy family? Like he was a trust fund guy, and he just broke away from that, and he's relying on that money?
Have you ever had somebody who's independently wealthy give you financial advice?
No.
It's the most frustrating thing you've ever experienced in your life.
Put your money in a pillowcase.
Yeah, well, they're just like, well, if you're better with your money, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, but you have money. You know what I mean? It's like this is something that's foreign to you. So what are you really getting at? So I feel like Ed Harris is definitely that guy. He doesn't work on the same plane of reality as everybody else.
And the money he's probably losing, I bet you his parents' accountant is just losing his mind about how much this show is losing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. 100%.
All right, good. I'm glad.
And I also feel like he's also got, he goes to jail pretty willy-nilly. He's like, no, just take me. Don't take, I think he knows in his back pockets he's always got a, hey, Mom, can you come pick me up from the Slammer card?
Yeah, he's always got a hey, Mom.
Yeah, he's always got a hey, Mom.
Man, I like Morgan more and more.
No, I'm not going to lie to you. When we first started doing this podcast, I was like, Billy's this, anti-hero, hurt Scott. But now I'm like, Morgan. I want to get a Morgan T-shirt, wave the Morgan flag. I'm going to go apologize to Tom Savini for ever offending him because of Morgan is my friend.
Yeah, he is. I want to get a bumper. So the only bumper sticker I ever put on one of my cars was Johnny Cash is my friend. I want to get Morgan as my friend.
Oh, nice.
Because you're right. He has the hero's journey.
Yeah, 100%. Wow.
He's the Lion King.
He is the Lion King.
Brother.
You know what? He's the rightful king is what he is. He should have, you know what I mean? It was a no holds barred situation going on there.
I do love in the beginning with that mace. They spent 30 minutes. Not really. But hey, should I use this mace? Well, we're using plastic. This thing has some heft and it has its own trajectory. Don't use it. And then he goes to somebody else. Hey, should I use it?
Right. Because I think he knew that this was the way to dethrone the king.
But then he says, once Alan says to him, do not use it, Morgan's like, yeah, I get it. And then Dum Dum Billy shows up, doesn't care about the middleman or management, just says, yeah, use it.
Because he's got his hey mom.
Yeah. And then Morgan's like, okay, sure. I'm not listening to Alan. So you and the head boss undermines their, so you have three tiers, right? You have the head boss, the CEO, and then you have the president, right?
Yeah.
But if the CEO undermines the president all the time, the staff won't listen to the president because they know they can go to the CEO.
Exactly.
So Alan is essentially, his position is made moot, even though a lot of the stuff he says is truth.
Exactly. Yep. But you need to be on the same page. Otherwise, people will get around it. I don't know if I've told you this, but I have 3 movies on my computer at all times in case I need to watch a movie. And those 3 movies.
Yeah. I thought you had 3 screens. So the immediate thing that popped up in my head is you just have 3 flat screens in front of you at all times.
It's 3 movie files that if I'm ever like at a youth retreat or if I'm ever caught somewhere where I need to waste, I have. And so those movies are.
Can I guess?
I'd love you to guess.
All right. And just Kramer vs. Kramer, Dr. Zhivago, and Wayne's World 2.
Okay, so those are 3 movies that I own, not 3 movies on my computer.
Yeah.
My 3 movies on my computer are the movies I can watch at any point in time, and they always make me happy. And so one is Deep Blue Sea.
Whoa, you have that on your
computer at all times.
Wow.
Deep Blue Sea, The Beastmaster, starring Mark Singer, and Coal Miner's Daughter, starring Sissy Spacek.
Interesting.
And have you seen Coal Miner's Daughter recently?
I have not. Not recently.
So it's amazing. But there's this moment where Tommy Lee Jones is trying to ask for Loretta Lynn's hand in marriage. So he goes to ask her dad, and his dad says, "Ask her ma." And then he goes to the mom, and she goes, "Ask the dad." And he goes back and forth like 8 times. And like they're in different rooms in the same house, and he's walking through the living room. And that to me is like, I took that as like, oh, my wife and I need to be on the same page when we parent our kids, or this is going to happen.
Oh, so that taught you some good lessons.
Taught me some good lesson. And then the culmination of that scene was in the middle of the night, he burst into their bedroom, and he's like, "I need to get you both in the same place at the same time." It's amazing.
And then can we move on to Deep Blue Sea? I just want to pitch something to you. So,
hit me with it.
Someone who has joined this podcast several times, he's the head of the Lamb. I've joined that podcast, but he did our Home Alone and Encino Man episodes. We're going to do an Airheads episode soon. But
nice.
so Jay Cluett says that Deep Blue Sea is the second best Jurassic Park movie.
Yeah, 100%.
And then if I did some stupid math, and I figured out
that
if you combine all the critical scores of the Jaws movies, Deep Blue Sea is better than the whole series.
Yeah, no, on average, absolutely.
Yeah, so Deep Blue Sea, all right, let's say you don't, all right, how about this? You love Jurassic Park, right? And you love Jaws, but you don't want to watch Jaws 2 through 4, and you don't want to watch any of the Jurassic Parks. Just watch Deep Blue Sea.
Yeah, or just watch Deep Blue Sea. Period. Don't need to go any further than that. Just watch.
I think just watching Jaws and Jurassic Park is awesome too.
Yes. Jurassic Park is pretty tight, and it holds up. Like, it still looks perfect today.
Oh yeah, we did a podcast earlier this year, and I watched it again, and I was a little, it's weird. So whenever I think about Jurassic Park, I think about it fondly, but when I watch it, I just, wow, this is great. Does that make sense?
You get lost in it.
Yeah, it's one of those movies that you don't think about, at least for me, until I watch it again. I'm like, this is great.
Yeah, 100%.
My favorite part in this movie, though, I want to jump to something. So the Native American guy shows up. Ed Harris has that weird vision. They have that really great brawl. But during the final battle, when he pops a wheelie and knocks a lance in half to save Alan, the lecherous Alan, that was amazing.
That's my favorite part as well.
Wasn't that? I watched that scene. I'm like, this guy's my hero.
So that was like his redeeming moment where I was like, this is a hero.
That guy's awesome, isn't he?
Yeah, he's fantastic.
What a great, oh man, that dude was cool. He became my favorite character in the movie. Just following around Ed Harris.
Yeah, no, it's weird the like cult leader that Ed Harris was without trying to be.
Oh, that's interesting. So you have people who build cults based on their charisma because they want to have power. Ed Harris built, well, everyone kind of had, it wasn't really cultish because everyone had their own minds, but everyone just followed him when he wasn't out there picking people up, and he wasn't out preaching to them. No,
he wasn't making a cult, but if one morning he woke up and decided to have a cult, he would have.
Those baby blues of Ed Harris and those guns.
Yeah, he would have said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to leave our motorcycles behind, and we're going to go and do X, Y, or Z. I'd say at least 75% of that group goes with him. Like Tom Savini won't without motorcycles, and Angie won't. She can't fix a motorcycle, but they were believing in him as the king more than motorcycles.
So during this time though, he's more the figurehead, right?
Yeah.
Very interesting. I want to see a movie with him and Chris Hemsworth character from Bad Times at the El Royale.
Oh yeah.
Dude, this is Ed Harris' second movie, and he was 30. And the command, that scene though, right? Where he just starts crying in front of...
He's got range in this.
When he cries, and when he's yelling at the cop, I'm like, second movie. I guess everyone on set was just awed by the dude.
Yeah. So who would you cast as Billy if they redid this in 2019? Then the movie where you play Morgan and I play Alan, because that's
you want to be lecherous Alan?
Oh, I think I'm such a nice guy in real life. I like to play a villain in plays and acting. I was in a huge Easter production a few years ago, and I requested to be Judas.
You know what? Yeah, that's funny. I like it. All right, so I'm not going to say Michael Pena.
Okay, and I appreciate that because that would be the right joke to make. But I'm asking you, in a very serious movie, deserves a very serious lead. Who would you cast as the lead?
How old?
Again, that's open for interpretation because at this point in time, Ed Harris was 30 years old, which I think was old for a leading man.
But he had this maturity to him already.
Yep.
So you can't. All right, it's got to be.
So I'll tell you, my pick is older. An older choice.
All right, who you got?
I was going to pick Sam Elliott.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'd quit everything. I was kind of thinking Chris Pine, but I don't know.
Work.
I think
that's just because you want Megan to watch the movie with you.
Yeah, exactly. We're not going to mention the other name. And then, but I'm also thinking maybe, I know I'm going against type, but like Vikander, Alicia Vikander. I think she has like a presence that you would just sort of follow.
I think it may be too on the nose because of Sons of Anarchy, but Ron Perlman, I think, could have worked it off, done it.
He's kind of gruff. Ed Harris had like a delusional warmth to him, right?
Well, I say he is essentially Captain America in the 80s. Like, if you put the shield on him, I would have believed it.
Dude, I got it.
Talk to me.
Oscar Isaac.
Yep, that's the one. That's the role.
I mean, right?
Yep. No questions asked.
I saw it, so I was racking my brain. I was going Vikander, then I was thinking Donald Gleason, and from Ex Machina, and then I went right to Oscar Isaac.
Now, if when this happens, do you ride motorbikes? Do you know how to ride a bike?
When I was 18 years old, I was riding around on a motorcycle in flip-flops, shorts, and a shirt in Florida, and I had a mailbox flipped over it. The mailbox rolled over, landed on my leg, hurt my knee real bad, burned my leg. I put rubbing alcohol onto the massive burn, which I still have.
Don't do that.
The scar.
Don't do that.
Then I wrapped it in toilet paper. Then I got into my dirty Burger King outfit and went to work. And while I was at the fryer, I didn't notice, but blood had poured down my leg and had soaked my sock, and my manager saw it. She freaked out. She was like, go home. I'm like, why? I need money. She's like, no, you can't work like that. So I got sent home, realized that the toilet paper had stuck to my leg because of the blood. Yeah. And I was limping really badly, and I had toilet paper glued to this massive burn on my leg, and it was that day I decided to stop. And I've also, I was riding a dirt bike, and I rode into a tree. I took a four-wheeler into a house. I rode a moped into a ditch. So
I think I'm going to make you not play Morgan. I think you're going to direct this movie.
I am not Morgan. I am not Morgan. You do not put me on a bike. I could see. No. All right, no. So I guess I would be. Which character would I like the most? Who's that cool guy that's never on a bike? He's always just kind of sitting by a bike. Remember
Little John?
No. Remember when the dude is camping and Ed Harris steals his bike, and they're like, "Oh, he took your bike."
Yeah.
That's the guy who gives him the speech about you're picking up all these long hairs and how much does beef cost.
Wasn't that Punch? Wasn't his name Punch?
No. Maybe that was Punch. I don't know if that was. I like him because he was just. I don't know. I like that guy. I thought he was pretty cool. I thought he was. I couldn't be a Merlin. I'm no Merlin.
No, and Merlin.
Yeah, Merlin.
He's fantastic. Like, I would cast that guy as Merlin in a period piece about King Arthur.
Do you know who that guy is, Merlin?
Brother Blue?
Yeah, Brother Blue. And he taught at Harvard, and he's a performer, storyteller, where they said he took he knows all these Shakespearean plays, he translated them into modern language, and he goes around performing them. And he would send George Romero postcards from all of his travels around the world performing.
Yeah, because he wasn't in any other movies, was he?
No, he just saw him and was like, I like him. Yeah,
because he seemed really like a part of the scenery more than an actor, and he just seemed to exist within this world.
No, you know what though? I'd be the cop. I'd be the jerk cop. I would love to be a jerk cop.
The whole time I was watching this, so there's two jerk cops. There's the skinny cop and the big cop.
Yeah.
I kept thinking the big cop looks like Seth Rogen's older brother.
Yep. I could see that. And he gets beat up later on.
He sure does.
And the lady, it costs $63. That's my math. So there's a fight scene later on where Ed Harris loses his, Morgan becomes king. He beats out lecherous Alan, and Ed Harris goes to a restaurant and beats up the cop, and just they lives him throughout an entire restaurant. That fight in Super Troopers, they actually showed it. That's what this was. And everyone's clapping, and he just beats the living daylights out of a cop. But I wonder what would happen to a gun if placed in a fryer. Bullets might explode, right? Gunpowder?
They might explode. I don't. It depends how hot they get, because they're sealed, so the gunpowder's not. There's no flame there. So if they get to the combusting temperature, I think a bullet in a fryer would be pretty safe. But you couldn't shoot the gun afterwards, because all that grease would be jamming the barrel and it would blow up in your hand.
Yeah, that'd be done. I love that all the time he's beating him up, the lady's charging about how much it costs. And then the Native American guy with Ed Harris, he never has a name, correct? That guy's never given a name. So
in the credits, his name is Indian.
Oh, great. Yeah, Billy faces an Indian rider with a black eagle crest on his breastplate. So let's call him Eagle. So he just pays that lady with like a silver piece.
Yeah. So Brother Blue is dead right now. He died in 2009.
Oh, the commentary we listened to, I think, was 2001, before Land of the Dead.
But he's primarily an oral storyteller. Like, you just go around in these kind of like troops and just tell people stories. It's amazing.
He's like, have you watched Ballad of Buster Scruggs? He's the version of that, a much better version of that guy, and he didn't get Liam Neeson.
Did not get Liam Neeson.
But
fantastic. Fantastic.
This movie, though, I went from knowing nothing about it, right?
Yeah.
You and I are probably in the top 1 percentile of people who know everything about it now. I listened to the commentary, watched the movie, found every article I could.
Yeah, I went deep hole here, and I looked up Knightriders fan groups, because I want to go to a traveling party, but all I could really find was fans of Knightrider, the black car show.
Oh,
but there needs to be a Knightriders club somewhere. It's too obscure not to have it.
Oh, they're out there. They're just probably not on the internet.
They just have local mailers in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean, this movie's too good. This is a good movie, right?
This is a good movie. This isn't like a drive-in exploitation grindhouse picture. This is a good movie that really tried.
Now, I do have to say, putting on my studio executive hat, he received a lot of freedom after Dawn of the Dead with United Artists. So he made this, he made another movie that I forget, and then he made Day of the Dead, and none of them really performed too well at the box office. But if you were financing this movie and you gave George Romero complete autonomy to make whatever he wanted, and he showed you this movie at 2.5 hours, as a studio executive, how would you feel?
Well, here's what I'm saying. His budget was $1 million. Yeah. So I don't think it's going to take that much to make $1 million back.
True.
Like in 81, how many movies were produced per month in 81 versus 2019? Oh,
I mean, much less.
So there's not a whole lot of choices out there.
Because the home video market, all right, if you think about who did Electric Boogaloo, all the people responsible for Missing in Action.
The Canon film guys, yeah.
They weren't even around yet. Now there were Corman. Corman was churning out drive-through movies, right?
Yeah, he was honestly, I love Corman. He was making tripe.
Yeah, and he was making the first movie for double headers at a drive-in, right? So this movie, there's no VHS market.
No.
If I would have marketed this as an action adventure, and I would have disappointed audiences.
Yep.
Oh man, but how do you market a 2.5-hour character study about a traveling Renaissance fair and its delusional founder?
You know what I think you do? I think you market it as a medieval movie and let the experience that I had watching it, with that motorcycle reveal, mean something.
Ooh.
Just market it as Knightriders, a tale of love and romance and betrayal. And then only strategically have trailer shots where it just looks like a medieval movie. and then boom, you go there, watch it, and you're blown away.
But even the tagline of this isn't very good. The games, the romance, the spirit, Camelot is a state of mind.
Right. It's pretty deep cut into like Billy thinks he's a knight.
Yep. But he has his mom card.
Got his mom card. Hey, Mom.
I would recommend this movie, though. This movie is... so watch it on Tubi, then listen to the Shout Factory commentary.
I did recommend this movie
to
a guy that I really respect his opinion on movies. When I was like, Mark, you need to watch this movie. It's going to blow your mind.
See, and I trust you.
Right?
That's right. I mean, Steel Dawn. I'm telling you, one of my favorite moments of cinema is when that sand creature destroys Patrick Swayze with a right haymaker from hell. He just destroys Swayze. My favorite like cinematic like trick is the knee knife where he's like, oh, but I got a knife in my knee as well. Yeah. And then if it wasn't for you, I never would have seen the scene in Icebreaker where Sean Astin gets picked in the air, and I made you watch it during the commentary where Sean Astin looks frightened because of the large man slam. Like, Sean Astin looks terrified.
Yeah, no, he's gonna get hurt.
Hey, so we covered this movie. We also came up with so I pitched a weird one about motorcycle riders. We always put together our super team, but then you pitched one about people who would be comfortable in any time frame, correct? So
yeah, because these guys exist in 81 as motorcycle stuntmen. They could easily exist in medieval times as knights. So it's like characters that could easily exist in multiple time periods without any hesitation.
Now, I want everyone to be very proud of me because Dolph Lundgren was in The Name of the King 2 where he gets transported back in time. And I did not even include him as a joke because in that movie, he never tries to fit in. He just wears a little scarf and he insults people. So
I'm very proud of you, and you can be disappointed in me because he's my first pick.
And in The Name of the King too?
Yeah, Granger.
You know what I love about Granger? And I almost picked when he goes to this back in time, he does not try at all, right?
He doesn't change outfits. He doesn't. He's just Dolph Lundgren, but back in time. Like there's no energy whatsoever.
He is just insulting people. I think he throws one front kick.
Yep.
I mean, it's not. No, I love the idea. His little scarf though is what sold the movie for me.
No, and so he was my first pick because it's not because he's actually adept and could fit into any time period. It's that he doesn't care when he does. Like he proves that he changes the game, where he's like, granted, I don't belong here in this time period, but I just don't care. And so it's not because of his ability or his character. It's because he just does not care.
At all.
His apathy makes him available to exist whenever, wherever.
No, you're right, because he is nonplussed by going to another time.
No. He's like, my karate still works.
And anytime Dolph Lundgren wears a scarf that little, I'm 100% in.
Exactly.
All right, exactly. So my first pick is really random, but I'm going to go with Sever, Lucy Liu from Ballistic X and Sever.
Okay.
Okay, so I wrote an article about the guy who financed all these movies. I don't know if you heard about him, but he was a dry cleaning magnate who made a big hit with Whole Nine Yards, and the reason that happened is because Bruce Willis's brother wrote it. So that was a success. So then he started, Travolta, Battlefield Earth, Sylvester Stallone, Get Carter. He started funding people's passion projects, right? And they all tanked, which is kind of cool. So he got all these A-list talent. He's like, I'll give you money to make your dream project. And then he would just pull all the money away, and then they'd make terrible films. Kevin Costner made a movie that was his dream project, and it was bad. So he would get A-list actors, but they would make terrible movies because no one wanted to make those movies except for him. But
right. And Ballistics was or Ballistic X versus Sever was a bad movie.
Horrible. But Lucy Liu in that movie is she never talks, right? She never. Nope. So if you just sent her back to night times, she would be the same person. She would just, okay, fine, I'll go kill some knights.
Exactly.
She would be 100%, like we said with Dolph, nonplussed. She would just show up. And she shows no emotion in that movie, so she'd show no emotion back in that time.
Would you watch a Sever and Granger team up movie where they go through
gosh.
all different time periods, just being badass.
Not caring at all.
Right.
Just ready to wear little scarves and kill people.
And the name of the movie would be Sever and Granger Shake It Off. And because they got thrown different times, they just shake it off. And they would turn their iPads up or their iPod, turn it up, and then just rock out to Taylor Swift as they just destroy people.
Yeah, I mean, the two, Dolph Lundgren and Lucy Liu destroying people while Shake It Off by Taylor Swift plays?
Yeah.
Can we make this entire movie soundtracked by Taylor Swift?
Yeah, 100%.
All right.
The name of our production company we called Swift Productions, because we make movies really quickly because we have all the music supplied by Taylor Swift.
I love it. And, Lucy Liu is a very good actress. Set It Up, Kill Bill, Charlie's Angels. I've always found her immensely likable. But in this movie, she's a blank space. So we could play that song by Taylor Swift.
And there's where your charisma comes from.
Yep, because the song. So I'm blank space.
Right. Now,
man.
So Ballistic actually has zero on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yep. So I got,
it is the worst reviewed film in the history of Rotten Tomatoes.
That's why I want her to kind of have a mulligan.
Yeah, do over.
Yeah. So, she can shake it off.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yes.
Or writing her a love story like Taylor Swift.
So I'm going to tweet Taylor Swift a link to this podcast when it drops.
Don't do it.
No, it's going to be great.
Oh, don't do it.
All we need is a little nod from T Swift to make this happen.
Oh man, well this podcast will become a movie.
You know what's going to happen though? If that happens, is that then she'll actually betray us before the movie comes out. We'll get no credit, and then to write a song about dumping us. Yeah.
So don't do it. It's not. This is pure. I don't want the outside world coming into it. All right. So who you got next?
Okay, my next one is maybe a little bit like we made the rules, so it doesn't break any rules. Yeah. But I went Connor McLeod from Highlander.
Ooh.
Because he's a guy. If we take him from like the 80s when Highlander happens, he's lived all the time periods.
Yep.
So he could go back and easily feel comfortable in any one of them.
So we could play the song Begin Again because he's already done it from Taylor Swift.
Yep, absolutely.
And he could also say, I'm not out of the woods yet because he's still traveling.
Exactly.
Exactly. Now, he did just him, because he's seen it. He's tired. So even if he goes back 7,000 years, he's like, whatever.
Right. I've done this before. And his kind of half accent.
Unexplained accents?
Yeah.
All right.
He's kind of like, okay, what do you got?
All right. This is going to sound random, but I got Eleanor Webb, Saoirse Ronan from Byzantium.
That does sound random.
The vampire movie. Where I was thinking about Saoirse Ronan, and I just feel like she could be placed in any time frame. Not just Brooklyn. You have her movies, Atonement. You have Mary Queen of Scots. She just sort of works whenever. Just with her, I kind of went for laid back people, and she's super laid back, and she's also a vampire, so she's lived for a very long time and seen a lot.
Yes.
So she's lived a very long. And Gemma Arterton, I was going to originally put Gemma Arterton because of our Hansel love, but Hansel and Gretel love. But I'm like, you know what, Saoirse Ronan. I'm going with Saoirse because she's a vampire. It's immortal, and she's seen it all, and she's all like Saoirse's just super chill. You send her back 500 years. She'll just be like, I get it. I can take care of it. And you're like, yeah, I trust you. You're going to win an Oscar. Right. You're going to be nominated at least.
Right, so she would bring some vitable firepower to our time traveling team here.
Yeah, and so the Taylor Swift song that we could play for her is, let's see, what could we do? What's a good one for her? Oh man, we got to think of one here.
She's a vampire, so she'll never be human again.
Yeah. So
we could ironically play "We Will Never, Ever, Ever Get Back Together."
You're right.
And she's singing it to her own mortal self.
Yes. And she might have been. She could have been 22 in that movie as well, forever.
But get a real solemn, almost like a Johnny Cash cover of it.
Oh my gosh, Hurt, but Johnny Cash.
But never getting back together
with their mortal self. I love it. All right.
Amazing.
Who do you got?
Okay, so I got Detective Harry Callahan from Dirty Harry.
Oh my god.
because essentially he's just playing a cowboy in San Francisco in the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
So no matter if you bring him to the future or the past or wherever, he's just going to be, he's tough enough in who he is that he's like, my rules of right and wrong still apply. To go back to the basics of how I run my life are never going to change depending on what time period I live in.
And he shows no emotion. So even if he was freaking out because he was in the 15th century, he wouldn't care.
Show it.
I'm fine.
I'm fine.
And wait, he kills a knight and he goes, "Look what you made me do."
That's right.
That's a good Taylor Swift song right there. Right? You could picture dirt, like, so the knight pulls a sword on him and he shoots him. "Look what you made me do."
Okay, so here's the plot for this movie. It's Taylor Swift is also the enemy, like she's the villain of the movie, and she's traveling through time stealing artifacts a la Time Cop. And so this team of time travelers needs to like go through time and find her, but they have to be able to blend in.
No, she's taking the souls of amazing musicians.
Yes.
Yes. Let's get this started. I think she's a very good musician, and I think she's a very savvy businesswoman and writes her music, guitar, excellent performer. I watched the show on Netflix with Megan. Megan watched it, and I just got sucked into it because the production value was amazing. So right. I don't need to make any excuses. I like Taylor Swift. Who cares?
No, we are not knocking Taylor Swift.
But this is a hypothetical thing.
This is a fictional version of Taylor Swift.
Yeah, there it is. Like, you know how many Bob Barker and Happy Gilmore.
Exactly. This is the Happy Gilmore Taylor Swift movie.
So she is stealing the musical talents of musicians.
Yes.
And we're trying, like, back all the way, the first caveman playing the rocks.
Right. Like, she's going to prevent Jimi Hendrix from buying his first guitar.
No. Oh, my God. Imagine Dirty Harry. Oh, my gosh. I love it. All right.
Okay.
That was perfect.
What do you got?
And I tried to write Dirty Harry, but I wrote Diddy Harry. So he's playing a Diddy.
Yeah.
All right. So my next one is Dad. He never has a name, but Bill Nighy from About Time.
Okay.
Because, he was a vampire in Underworld. But Bill Nighy is just such a cool guy that anywhere he goes, he's just going to be cool. Like, he's just going to be the nicest dude ever. So if he goes back to 1920, Bill Nighy is timeless.
100%.
100%. He's just the chillest dude. So you could send him anywhere, and people just be like, "I like him. I trust him. He's my friend." All right, who you got next?
So I got Elliot Marston from Quigley Down Under, played by Alan Rickman. And have you seen Quigley Down Under?
I have not.
Okay, it's Tom Selleck at his best.
Oh wait, I knew Tom Selleck was in it, but I didn't know Alan Arkin was in it.
Alan Rickman.
Oh, Alan Rickman. I wrote Alan Arkin. Alan Rickman. I love Alan Rickman.
That's a different movie altogether.
Yeah.
So he plays this like rancher who's like a villain, and he abuses the Aboriginal people, and he goes to Australia to get like beef money. But essentially, he's Hans Gruber. Like, he plays the same character as Hans Gruber. And in the movie, he looks at Quigley and he says, "Mr. Quigley, some men were just born in the wrong time frame."
Whoa.
So I think he knows that he will be as ruthless whenever he is.
I love that. You need it.
Yeah.
And also, he's kind of a punk rock king in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Yeah. And again, but I would say his Sheriff of Nottingham is really just Hans Gruber in Nottingham.
Yep. I love when he looks at you. Come at 7. You 9. Bring a friend.
Yes. No, it's like I love when he puts the scar on the statue.
Yeah. Oh, I love that scene.
Yeah. Moment of silence for Alan Rickman.
"I will eat your heart with a spoon."
Why would you use a spoon? It's not sharp.
Yeah. But he makes a meal out of the word spoon. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right. So here's the deal. I'm gonna go with the Bad, played by Byung-Hyun Lee, and the Good, the Bad, and the Weird. It is a Korean remake of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Okay.
And in the movie, he is the bad. Does not say much. He's also, I don't know if you noted, he's in Red 2. He's also in the G.I. Joe movies. He's in I Saw the Devil. Awesome actor. But I just thought you bring him anywhere in time, he's just going to kick butt. He doesn't care. He's just
Absolutely.
It's a movie that's in the past, but it feels very modern. And also, I think he's a cool actor, so I would love to see Byung-Hyun Lee just destroying people to a song. And he has a lot of style, so they could play style.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh man, that'd be good. I like it. All right, so who you got next?
I got Merrick from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, played by Donald Sutherland.
Oh my gosh, yes, Donald Sutherland.
Because he's a guy who every time he dies, his consciousness goes into a new body.
Yep.
And so he's only been alive 30 years, but he has the memories of eternity.
Wow. And he could have Begin Again, that song.
He could have Begin Again as his song. 100%.
Wait, the name of this movie should be Endgame.
Okay. Yep.
Because that's another Taylor Swift song.
Absolutely it is.
So he just takes over body. So it doesn't matter where he goes.
Right. And the thing is that's cool about him is if he dies in battle, he'll show up again.
Yep. Just
give him some time.
We need people like that. If you lose him time traveling somewhere, he'll pop up later.
Exactly.
I love it.
That's my fifth pick, and I think it's a solid one.
And then I'm gonna go with Uhura, Zoe Saldana from the new Star Trek, because you're going to different worlds all the time.
Right.
And I like Zoe Saldana. I think she's cool, and I think she's down to she goes to different worlds, so she could work in any time frame.
Would you say that she's always ready for it?
Yeah. Yes, she's always ready for it. Like that song would start, "Are you ready for it?" Yeah. Like she'd be first in line.
Exactly.
So I'm going with her on that. So can you do me a favor? Can you do your 6th and 7th? Because I want to drop my last two at the same time.
Okay. So Merrick was my 6th, right?
Yeah, Merrick was your 6th. Oh, so just drop your 7th, I guess.
Okay, so my 7th, and this is a real cerebral one, is Edward Walker from The Village, played by William Hurt.
Oh.
Because he made a village of people and his children live in a different time while actually living in the future. Like he really bent time and did it. Like he did it. And so I think he's this historical knowledge where we have guys like Dirty Harry and, that don't care where they are. And like Sever, he would be someone who could say, he has the knowledge of that time period because he's so historically well read. Oh yeah.
He knows everything.
Yeah.
I like that. So he could say, "I knew you were trouble," because he knows.
When you walked in.
Yep.
Right? Like he gets it.
No, I have Granger, Connor McLeod, Merrick, Detective Harry Callahan, Elliot.
But also there's a Taylor Swift song called "Out of the Woods."
Yep.
And so if we took
The Village,
Edward Walker out of The Village, out of the woods, he could have a couple songs.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. All right. So I'm gonna finish this up. I have Joe Bowers from Idiocracy and Roy O'Banion from Shanghai Noon, played by Luke Wilson and Owen Wilson. Because they're a bunch of Texans, right? They're a bunch of Texans. And Joe Bowers in Idiocracy goes to the future, fits right in. Zero problems. Zero problems. Then you have Roy O'Banion in Shanghai Noon, who he could be now and be totally fine. They're just these chilled Texans who...
Yeah. I would say that in Shanghai Nights, he went to almost a different time period. He went to England, but at that time it was like a worlds apart from the Wild West, and he handled it well.
He was totally comfortable. He was just wow. And Luke Wilson's so laid back that these brothers are just so laid back in these worlds.
And would you say that those two brothers that they belong with each other?
Yes, they do. They definitely belong with each other.
Amazing.
What do you think? You like that?
I love it. I love this movie.
All right. So who are we getting rid of?
So how big's our team going to be?
All right. 7.
Okay. I will eliminate Granger right from the get-go.
Okay.
Because we have Sever.
Yep.
And we have Dirty Harry as both possibilities. And I feel like we're just hitting the same trope a number of times.
I'm going to get rid of Uhura. I think she's great, but I just think we have enough people who don't care. Does that make sense? And then, as much as I love Bill Nighy, I'm just going to get rid of him because I just had to add Bill Nighy in this because he's one of my favorites.
Right. So I'm going to cross off Elliot Marsden from Quigley Down Under.
Okay.
Because although he could exist we don't need somebody that ruthless on our team. We're the heroes of this story.
Yeah, we'd be killing people.
Right.
All right. Now, as much as I love Saoirse Ronan, no, I'm gonna keep Saoirse. I'm gonna get rid. Oh man. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of Byung-hun Lee, just simply because we already have a bunch of quiet people. We have, Connor McLeod does not talk much. Harry Callahan does not talk much. You can't have three people on a team who don't talk, right? Does that make sense?
Right. No, 100%. 100%.
All right, so I'm getting rid of him. So now we're down to 8 people.
So I really think Edward Walker from The Village should stay. I think we need somebody in the know. We don't have very many knowledgeable people.
He's that guy. He's a librarian in Buffy. That's smart.
Right. So I'm saying if we keep Walker, we don't need Merrick.
Okay.
The reborn vampire slayer again and again and again and again. I think those two cancel each other out.
So we're down to 7 now?
I think that's our team.
So we have Joe Bowers from Idiocracy, Roy O'Bannon from Shanghai Noon, Saoirse Ronan from Byzantium, Sever from Ballistic Expert Sever, Connor McLeod from Highlander, Detective Harry Callahan from Dirty Harry, and Edward Walker from The Village.
And they will get Taylor Swift.
Yeah. Oh, they'll capture her. And then, she'll come around because she's great. She'll just be like, listen, I got over myself. I got in with a bad crowd. There'll be a nice song, Tears Dropping on the guitar.
Right.
And, what's the name of this team?
I think the name of the team is Our Song.
I like it.
Because she's taking all the musicians from history, right? Like she's taking all their influences and she's going, and so they're losing how they forget moments in their life tied to songs.
Wow.
So like my grade 8 graduation dance, it was the girl you really liked, you danced with her with I Will Always Love You from The Bodyguard was the big hit at that point in time. So that song then vanishes from my history, and I start noticing holes in my history. And so these people are going back to get back their song, Our Song.
Oh, I love it. That's amazing. And this team, so we have 2 very quiet people, right?
Yeah.
And then we have Sever and Callahan. They're chill. Then you have the smart guy played by Edward Walker. You have a vampire. She could wipe people out.
Oh yeah, no, she's dangerous.
And then you have kind of the comedic release with Joe Bowers. Then you have Royal Banyan, Sever, Connor, and Detective Harry Callahan just wiping people out.
Yeah, they're not holding anything back.
I love it.
This is an A+ squad. This might be our tightest squad we've ever done.
I think so. I really worked hard at going outside the box on this. I didn't go for my traditional Michael Pena.
No, and I did as well, with the exception of Dolph Lundgren. I was like, oh, and I also really here's how much energy I put into this. I really tried hard to include Rutger Hauer in this.
But you didn't do it.
Couldn't fit.
He could be I guess he could be the Hitcher character because he's hitching a ride.
Well, actually, he was in Buffy as the villain.
Oh, you're right.
Vampire. And so when I was looking up Merrick, I was like, oh, Rutger Hauer's there. But I said, no, it's not the best for the team to have Rutger in at this point in time.
You're a brave man, and I appreciate your decision.
Oh, it's for the team, Mark. It's for the team.
Hey, so this was a lot of fun. What movie are we doing next?
We'll
think about. I don't. We don't have one planned.
No, I think we were so excited about this one. We hit the iron pretty hard.
Well, we can't force it, so we'll just wait for one of us to have an aha moment.
Exactly.
Can't force podcasts.
No, we cannot. I would like to say this though. I know that soon coming up on your calendar, there's going to be an influx of shark movies.
Yep. On
the docket. So what if we did? I want you to think about, Mark, movies at sea without sharks.
Oh my gosh, I like it. So we'll put oh man, all right.
Put our thinking caps on. What would be the best movie, best water movie without a shark?
I like it. I'll start thinking.
Okay, I will start thinking as well.
All right. We just end the podcast.
All right, and we're done.
Hey, so that was a lot of fun, man. I'm glad you came on. Watch Knightriders. So for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, and for Adam Hodgins, this is Movies, Films, and Flicks. We'll see you next week.